Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to work on the next part. I think we're on part 4 or 5 of our color palette challenge, and we're using Sarah Renee Clark's color catalog, and we are on number 2. The first one we did on a live stream, so if you guys are looking for number 1, it was done over the course of some live streams. So just check that out. You can check the replay, it's there. We're working in Mythographic Labyrinth. And so I have picked out the colors for the bull and the little tiny people here. So we're going to work on the little people first, and we're just going to jump right into it. I'm keeping it really simple because they are very tiny. So I'm bringing in Prismacolors, and you guys should have the colors already. I have showed them in the first couple of videos, probably even the last one maybe. So I'm just gonna jump right in today. I'm actually sitting here sharpening because I did not do that before the video. Normally I have all this already ready, but I did not this time. So for the little guys, I like to think that they are twins. So they're going to be the same colors. And for the skin, I'm using light peach and nectar. You don't see much of the skin. Like, you see his hand, you see her hand, and then her legs. And that's pretty much all you can see. And then she's got, I don't know what that is on her leg, but she's got something there. But I'm just using the Prismacolor, and it's not very much. You can barely even see, you can't even see their faces. So you don't need a lot, just put a little, and boom, the skin is already done. You can even go in and blend this a little bit more. Done, right? So now I want them to be blonde. So because I'm gonna bring some of this yellow down in here, so I'm bringing in Deco Yellow and just putting a base down on both their hairs. And then I have Canary Yellow, and I'm gonna have the shadow color near the bottom because the sun is on the right hand side. I'm almost finished with the cube. I know some of you are wondering. It is almost finished. Some of it will be metallic, so it may look unfinished, but the parts that are white and don't have a base color down on them, that will be metallic, and we'll do that at the end. All right. So I also would like for them to have on the same outfit. So for him, I would like his shirt to be white. So the only thing I'm gonna do is shade a little bit of gray, just so that it can, look white. That's all I'm doing. And then for her, I was thinking I wanted her skirt white, but because I kind of want them, I don't want them too similar. So I'm going to do her skirt white, and her shirt will be the same color as his overall. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gray, not too much, because we don't want it to look gray. We want it to look white. And this is the Polychromos Code Gray 3, just enough. Just enough. And I'm going to bring in some gray for their shoes, which originally I was going to do their shoes black, but I opted for gray because I don't want a lot of black just, here. And cleaning out my pencil sharpener, which obviously doesn't look like I've cleaned out in like weeks. So I was having a hard time sharpening some of this stuff, but you'll have to excuse me if you see pencil shavings all over my desk. Okay, so I have a warm gray 4, and I'm just gonna put a tiny bit down for the shoes because you can barely see them anyway. Same thing for her. Just enough. Just enough. It's not, you don't need too much detail, and then you're gonna just grab a lighter gray. I'm using warm gray 4. Oh, the other one was warm gray 6. This is warm gray 4. But you don't need a lot. And now for their actual clothes. So for his overalls, I do want them red. So we're just going to bring in some of that red we were using. We're using the red combo from the Polychromos. And then her shirt will be red. And it might blend in with the background a little bit, but with the shading and stuff we're gonna put down, it's not gonna blend in that much. So now I'm gonna grab middle cadmium red, and I'm moving a little bit fast because I still have the bull and I want it all done in one video. So I'm just adding some shading, just a little bit, because like I said, they are very tiny and I do not want to have to fight with trying to put some shading down here. If you want to, you know, fuss over it, you can, but sometimes there are things that I don't want to fuss over when I'm coloring, so I just make it look like as though it was fussed over, but really it's not. Really, it's just you just kind of making it look like you put more effort into what you actually did. But I mean, if you want to, then go for it, because then, you know, and I'm almost regretting making her shirt red, but it still doesn't blend in that much. If you want, you can reverse it. If you don't want it to blend in, you can reverse her skirt and her shirt, but I promise you it doesn't look bad at all. There we go. Now she's carrying something on her back. I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to bring in some burnt ochre. It looks like a capsule of some sort, or like a rolled up backpack or something. So we're just gonna make it brown. And I have chocolate here for the shadows. And remember, the sun is over here, so just gonna make it. And then I'm gonna use the chocolate for the strap. I'm not gonna fuss over it. And I'm also gonna bring in 90% warm gray for the backpack strap. It's like a little strap down here. I can't zoom in too close because my camera will do something strange. So, but that's it for the people. Now, for the part that we've all been waiting on, at least I know I have, the bull. So we're gonna do, we'll start with his face, and I'm bringing in some peach, and I'm just gonna go over his whole face. I'm not gonna go over the eyes, obviously, but everything else, the ears, everything, except for the horns. Do not go over the eyes and do not go over the horns. So this I can zoom in because it's a little bit bigger. So we're just basing the whole thing, not the eyes and not the horns, because those will be different colors. Right, and then if you like, you can go over the whole bull, You don't have to base and then do one section, or you can do one section at a time, but you really only need one, you know, very light layer of this peach for the base layer. And this is Prismacolors too, so you don't need to go heavy just yet. I'm just basing his arm just to show you that you can just base the whole thing at one time, or you can just do section by section. So there's the arm, and all of this is based. You have a light layer, light enough for you to see it, but not too dark, okay? Because we're gonna have like 4 or 5 other colors coming in here, so just light enough for you to see where you have your color down. This base layer doesn't have to be perfect either. Just throw the color down. Just throw it down, because we're gonna refine it. So in the comment section, I want to know how many of you guys are following along as we color this. After the final video, I will start the giveaway. So from the final video, you guys will have 1 week to post and tag me in your finished bull, or I think it's a Minotaur or something like that. Anyway, you have 1 week from the final video to post your finished page to enter the giveaway. And there will be a bonus question somewhere in the last video. So if you do not answer that bonus question, then you will not be entered in the giveaway. So you have to post your photo. You can post it on Instagram or the Facebook group. Tag me in it and answer the bonus question to be entered into the giveaway. All right, so notice I didn't color the cloth, okay? So now I'm going to come in with some burnt ochre, and we're only doing the face today, just so that this video isn't so long. So remember that the sun is coming from this direction. All the shadows are going to be on this side. So think about that when you are entering your shadows for this guy. So we have it, I mean, this is a shadow color, but this is also kind of like a base color, because there's going to be about 5 colors. So I'm just ever so lightly placing this color down, because like I said, there's going to be about 5 other colors. So this color is kind of like a placeholder as well. And notice that the light is still going to be coming from that way, but I'm also going to go under here because you have to factor in the moss as well. So there's moss, so you can put like a little bit underneath the moss. And that's the horn, so we're not going to bother with that. And you can put a little bit under here. And then there's a little bit under here because of the moss. So now we're gonna come in with chocolate, and I'm just gonna sharpen it a little bit. Now we're getting into our darker colors. So now you want to just kind of go in and make sure that the areas that you kind of know that you're going to want a little bit darker than everywhere else, like underneath there, and I know I'm going to want some under here. And it doesn't have to be perfect just yet, because you aren't, you know, we're not sure if we're going to want more darkness in certain areas or not. We might need to erase some things. So just put it where you feel like you think you're going to need that darkness. And just kind of play around. It doesn't have to be, you know, exactly accurate because of the sunlight and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that this isn't 100% accurate. So just go with what you feel is accurate enough. If you feel like it's too dark, you can always erase where you feel like it's too dark at and go and try again. Sometimes I feel like I need to do that. But sometimes I just kind of go with it and it just kind of falls into place. So I know some people are like, oh, how do you do this? I just kind of go with it. If it looks accurate, then that's what I go with. If it doesn't and something just doesn't seem right, then I just kind of tinker around with it until I feel like it's as accurate as possible. So that's what you see me doing here. And notice I haven't really worked on this side yet, but I just try to make it look as good because there are lots of little folds in here too. So if you want to like just really go into detail with the folds and things like that, you can do that too. But you don't have to. You can just kind of really just block it in almost anywhere and it'll kind of work out. If you're not looking forward to making things so accurate, because like I said, I'm almost positive that this isn't 100% accurate, so it's not a big deal for me. It doesn't have to be perfect, trust me. All right, next I'm gonna bring in some terracotta because it has like a little red hue to it, and I think our guy could use a little bit of red to him. So this is roughly going over where I just put the chocolate, just so that he can have a little bit of a red hue and he doesn't look so brown. And I'm gonna bring it out just a little bit because the brown is nice, but I feel like with the cube and the sun and it's a lot of bright yellows going around, I feel like he needs a little bit of red, just so that he can I don't want to say stand out, but I feel like the brown, if you just left it with the brown, he would look a little dull. And I do want him to stand out a little bit. I don't think I want him to stand out more than the cube. I feel like he's just a placeholder for the cube a little bit, but I do still want him to stick out a bit. So when you're coloring this guy, just remember where you want your shadows, where the sun is at, where you think the sun is at, because not everybody's picture is going to look like mine. So you might want your sun in a different spot. So if you're opting for your sun to be in a different spot than mine, then your shadows will be in a different spot. So keep that in mind as well. Now for the darkest of the darks, I'm bringing in 90% warm gray just for the dark areas, and this isn't gonna have a lot. It's just to help with the shadows a little bit and the folds that are in the picture, in his face. He has a lot of folds, he has a lot of moss on his face, you know, so just bringing out the shadows a little bit more will help. And you don't need a lot of this at all because then he's gonna go back to looking dull. So just make sure that you're not putting too much of this. Just a little wherever those folds are, even less on the side where the sun is at. And then from there, you just add whatever you feel like, whatever colors you feel like you need. So like I might even bring in some nectar that we used for the kids' clothes, just for the little bit around the eyes, before I bring that brown back in here. And the Prismacolors, they do get a little dusty, so I'm gonna have to like bring in the brush a little bit here. But just work your way through the bowl with the colors you think you're going to need. And like I said, it's not gonna be perfect. I don't know if he's supposed to be furry or not. He looks like a rock, so I didn't want to like try and fuss with any fur or anything like that. I'm just following what I feel like he should look like. So he's not going to have a lot of fur, if any. I don't know if Minotaurs have fur. I think they are like very short-haired if they do have, you know, something like that going on for them. But I don't think it's, because again, he looks like a rock. So I'm almost positive that's what's going on here. He's kind of like a rock or something. So I don't need fur. Although he's got like a little hair up here at the top. I don't think he needs it. So I'm gonna come back with nectar because he's getting a little bit lighter on this side because of the sun. And so for these areas, I am gonna put some nectar in here because I don't want them too dark, like I said. And if you go over the whole thing with the nectar, it will bring them, make them a little bit lighter. So make sure that you go back in with your shading. So I've got that whole part. And then his nose, I think I'm gonna also put a little nectar. And then I'm gonna come back in and darken his nose a bit. I'm gonna bring in some chocolate. There's chocolate. Chocolate. And some warm gray. Now this warm gray, I am gonna put a little bit more because this is his nose, and so I do want it to stand out still from the rest of him. And just play around with it. Like I said, where's terracotta? I'm gonna bring in some more terracotta. The terracotta is to help keep the red hue for him, because I don't want him to look dull, but I also don't want him to look too bright. So we're gonna bring some of the terracotta in on this side too. We gotta remember that the sun is there, so we don't want to lose too much of our highlight, which is the nectar. So don't lose that. Just put in a little bit. It should be a bit darker back there. And like I said, just go with it. If you feel like it doesn't work or it needs more work, keep working it. That's why we use light layers, burnt ochre, so that we can work with as many layers as we need. Just gonna brush off some of this stuff. Okay, so just keep working at it and it will work itself out. I'm gonna notice I'm going over very lightly because I feel like that nectar is a little bit too pink on that side. So okay, so that is what his face looks like. And for the horns, I was actually thinking of doing gray, but I'm actually just gonna do them like probably metallic, but I feel like it's gonna clash. So what I think I'm actually gonna do is I might actually put stickles on the cube and metallic his horns and his collar. I need to find out if I have a nice kind of golden stickles. I might as well keep coloring while I'm talking. A nice gold stickle is what I'm hoping to have. I need to check my collection and see what I have as far as the stickles go, because if I can find a nice gold stickle, then that's what I'm going to use on the cube, the white areas of the cube. So if I can find that, that would be great. If not, then I will probably just use metallics on the cube and then do something else for his horns. But I do know that I want to do some metallics on this page. Now the last one I didn't do any metallics. I did add some stickles, but this one I think I want to add some metallic. So we'll see how that goes, because there are also some other elements. There's like vines and things like that, so I have to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do with that. I'm just gonna make this area right here where his muscle would be, I want to make that part light. Even though the sun is coming from the other direction, it's okay. So, but like I was saying, you know, it doesn't, this is what I mean when I say it doesn't have to be accurate, because I'm sure the shadows are not supposed to be right there, but that's where I kind of want it, because I want the muscle to look like it's kind of glowing, even though he's rock. He's like made of rock or stone or something, but I still want that effect, even though that's probably not correct. It's okay, because it's our coloring book and we don't have to have it correct if we don't want to. So, and in this case, I don't want to. I just want to make it look like it's kind of glowing, since it looks like he's flexing off his muscle anyway. So I thought that would be kind of cool. So we'll put some shadows up here, and then we have one here. And like I said, just kind of go through. This is the terracotta I'm coming in with for that red hue. Just kind of go through it and have fun with it. And, you know, we have the colors that we want to use, so all we have to do now is just refine our bull. And I saved the best part for last, I think. Now if he's gonna turn out the best, I think the cube is probably my favorite part so far. And the moss, I love how the moss turned out. The bull, he's probably my third favorite part. Let me know what your guys' favorite part is. I like the bull. I like the colors I chose for him, but I think the cube is going to be the, like I said, the part that I want to stand out the most. So, and I think that's exactly what is being done. I think it's doing a great job of standing out, especially once I start adding like the metallics and all of the other bits to it. So naturally you guys are going to have homework. You guys' homework is going to be to finish the bull and any other elements that you have not finished yet. Like me, for instance, I've not finished my cube yet. I have a few bits and pieces to it that needs to be colored, but aside from that, I'm gonna put a little bit down here. Aside from that, I have not finished my cube, but it's almost done. I just have a little bit to go up top. So once that part is finished, then I will record the next part, which is going to be adding the metallics and things like that. Because the pencil work, once I finish the bull, the pencil work is pretty much done. So if you guys are following along, make sure you are all caught up, because the next one I will be caught up and I will just be ready to place the metallics that needs to be placed. And from there, I might even take a blender to this. From there, after the metallics, we'll be done. It'll be done. So I'm looking forward to that. And I do have something planned for July, because we are going to probably skip number 3 for July, and we're going to do it in August. But I do still have something planned for July. It'll just be probably a live stream, a couple of live streams coloring something. I do have that something picked out. I need to pick the colors out for it, but it is picked out. I am ready to do it. I just need to make sure that I have everything ready to go for you guys, and I think it's going to be a live stream. I think that way, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can just ask me right there. You don't have to wait for the video to upload or for me to respond or anything like that. They will all be right there for you, or I will be available to you to answer it right there. So that is underway, and I haven't quite, it's not 100% ready, but it will be by the time I am done with this color palette challenge. So as you can see, I'm just kind of working it. I'm just going over the areas that need to be gone over. I'm working these in quite a bit because they are already, it's pretty much at its limit, but I can still get some layers in. So this is the final layer. I'm gonna bring in my pencil blender to blend all of this together so that it's not looking so patchy. That's another thing with, I have an issue with the Prismacolor. Sometimes it can look a little patchy. So we did the face and we did the arm together. So you guys just have the other arm, the legs, and the middle part of his body. And then if you take the blender and just kind of blend it in together, it will look much, much better. So have fun with the way that you guys work your shadows in and blend everything together. If you don't have a blender, you can always use white. Just remember to go in and put back any shadows that the white is going to take away if you are using white. I'm just using my blender, going over the whole thing just to smooth it out. I'm using the Caran d'Ache pencil blender. This one's my favorite, so this is what I'm using. And then I missed a piece of his ear over here, so I'm just gonna right, so there we have that, and I'm gonna zoom out so you guys can see. And I have to keep my little brush when it comes to the Prismacolors too. So you guys just have to do his chest, his other arm, and his legs. His little cloth, I'm thinking of doing metallic or glitter too. So it's going to be quite a bit of metallic, but that's okay. So here is our bull that we've done today. And the rest is up to you guys. Have fun doing him. And I just need to finish my cube. So I have this little area here to go and one little piece here. And then I'll be all caught up as well. And we didn't use any alcohol markers on this one, surprisingly, either. So next, oh, and this piece, there's a little piece right here by his neck, by the collar. That is part of his neck, so don't forget that. So when we come back, we will be handling all the metallics and glitters, so be prepared for that. Bring out all your metallics, your glitters, your golds, your metallic greens, whatever color it is you want to use. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Bye.